So, for many years, Will Smith has been one of my favorite actors of all time, especially after watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air growing up. And for years, Will Smith has been Hollywood's golden boy. In fact, box office dominance, global respect, family friendly image, he had all of that. But somewhere along the line, that image started to crack, and once it cracked, it never really recovered. The turning point for many people came when Will publicly confirmed the deeply personal issues of his marriage, especially the situation including Jada Pinkett Smith and August Alsina. What shocked many fans wasn't just the revelation itself, but how publicly it played out. It was like a humiliation ritual. There were interviews, confessions, viral clips, and memes all born from all of this. So, for someone who built a career on confidence and control, this was a complete 180. And from that point on, Will Smith became less of a respected leading man and more of a cultural punchline. Every appearance felt uncomfortable, every headline felt heavier, and many fans felt like they were watching a man endure a public embarrassment each time they saw him from then. Not just once, but repeatedly. And then came the moment that changed everything permanently. The Oscars. There was a joke, a walk to the stage, and the slap heard around the world. That single moment didn't just derail a night, it derailed a legacy. Projects stalled, public trust evaporated, and suddenly the same industry that once protected him began to keep its distance. Ever since then, every controversy seems to hit harder. Every accusation carries more weight. And now, with a new lawsuit making serious allegations, and his legal team calling them baseless and reckless, many people are asking the same question. Is this just another false claim, or is this the latest chapter in a very visible downward spiral? Now, here's what the lawsuit actually claims according to court filings and reports.
So, here's what's going on. A professional violinist named Brian King Joseph, who some people may recognize from America's Got Talent, has filed a lawsuit against Will Smith and Smith's company, Treyball Studios Management. The lawsuit was filed at the very end of December, and it centers around events that allegedly happened while Joseph was working on Will Smith's, based on a true story tour. According to the lawsuit, Joseph says that what started as a professional opportunity slowly became uncomfortable. He claims Will Smith showed what he describes as inappropriate personal interest in him during the tour. The lawsuit uses serious language, including allegations of inappropriate harassment, grooming behavior, and conduct that Joseph says crossed professional boundaries. One of the most alarming claims involves a stop in Las Vegas. Joseph alleges that someone entered his hotel room without his consent and left behind items and a handwritten note that made him fear an intimate encounter was being pushed onto him. He says this incident caused him significant emotional distress and made him feel unsafe while on tour. Joseph claims that when he reported what happened, both to hotel security and to people associated with the tour, the situation didn't improve. Instead, he alleges he was shamed, marginalized, and ultimately removed from the tour. In the lawsuit, he argues that this amounted to retaliation for speaking up, and he says the experience caused long-term emotional and psychological harm, including symptoms of PTSD, as well as financial and reputational damage. Before officially filing the lawsuit, Joseph had already hinted publicly that something serious had happened. He posted a video online encouraging people in the entertainment industry to speak up about mistreatment, though he didn't name Will Smith at the time or give specific details. That video gained attention after the lawsuit became public. Now, on the other side of this, Will Smith's legal team is strongly denying everything. Smith's attorney released a statement calling the accusations false, baseless, and reckless. They've made it clear that Smith plans to fight the lawsuit and believes the claims will not hold up in court. At this stage, it's important to note that these are allegations, not proven facts. No court has ruled on the case yet, and both sides are telling very different versions of what happened. What we're seeing right now is the opening phase of what could become a lengthy legal battle. As this case unfolds, more details may come out through court filings, witness statements, or settlements, or it could be dismissed altogether. Either way, it adds another major controversy to Will Smith's already complicated public narrative especially as he continues his efforts to rebuild his image after past incidents. Now here's a twist. This isn't his first lawsuit, as he has a former friend that filed another by the name of Bilal Salam, someone who says he was a longtime friend and associate of Will's. According to the complaint, Jada allegedly confronted him in a hotel lobby back in 2021 and made threats, even saying he could end up on a live if he kept talking about her personal business. Apparently what they wanted quiet was talks like this.
All right, I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne. There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him. Murder.
So they're fighting two lawsuits at this point, but Joseph's claim has a few problems already. Let's look at them together. Firstly, we have this.
Also, the note wasn't signed by Will Smith. But then when he brought this up to them, they said that he was just making it up and they never investigated it. And then a couple of days later, he was fired, which arguably would be more of a wrongful termination case than sexual harassment. But the whole thing is just strange. If I enter my hotel room and there's a load of stuff in there, do you not go straight to the hotel and say what's going on with my room? Because if he's gone to Will Smith's management and starts throwing around Will Smith has been in my room when Will Smith hadn't been in his room, then I could understand why he would get fired.
Not only that, but he has claims that Will Smith attempted to groom him. But let's look at the definition of grooming to begin with.
But grooming doesn't always happen with a creepy old man and a young child. In fact, it often happens with a older teen or a preteen and a charming, good-looking older guy in his mid-20s.
So with that clip, we understand that he does not match the criteria of being able to be groomed in the first place, as he's not in his teens, nor a child. He's a 30-plus-year-old man, and this is also something that has to be done over time. When in this case, their entire interactions appear only connected to music being that he worked for him, and he has no actual evidence of this being otherwise.
But now the reason why they think the motive of this could have been Will Smith literally basically just comes down to this, where he says that Will Smith was spending more one-on-one time with him, and he once told him, "You and I have a special connection." And I think the full quote is one that I don't have with anybody else.
Now he'll like to use this as some form of evidence, but even then it seems to be reaching because he worked for him at the time musically, and the context for a lawsuit is lacking if that was the only solid proof he can present, as this is not an inappropriate attempt to take advantage of him. That being said, he has since come out and said this in a video to his own defense.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to talk about something really important. Earlier this year, I was hired to be a performer on a major tour with somebody who is huge in the industry. So I was excited, proud of myself for getting the opportunity. Unfortunately, some things happened, and I can't get into the details of exactly what that was, because it's already a legal issue right now. But the reason why I'm speaking out about this is because getting fired or getting blamed or shamed or threatened or anything like that, simply for reporting sexual misconduct or safety threats at work, is not okay. And I know that there's a lot of other people out there who have been afraid to speak up, and I understand. And if that's you, I see you. And that's pretty much it. More updates to come soon. Thanks for listening.
So in this video, he seems to just be trying to justify himself instead of presenting actual evidence to aid his case. Yet, it is a legal matter, so he may have to be tight-lipped as a result. But it could also just be a money grab attempt at Will. Because even if his name is not as respected as a decade ago, for example, that's still Will Smith. When you look at this entire situation, there are some bigger lessons that go far beyond Will Smith as a person. First, status doesn't protect you. Will Smith isn't just famous, he's one of the biggest names Hollywood has ever produced. Decades of box office success, cultural influence, and global recognition. And yet, when the public narrative shifted, that same fame became a liability instead of a shield. Once someone is perceived as being in decline, people come out of the shadows. Some may be telling the truth. Others may see opportunity. That's the uncomfortable reality of being a major celebrity in today's world, especially one whose image has already taken hits. Allegations gain traction faster. Headlines are harsher. And every accusation, proven or not, sticks longer. Another major lesson here is how celebrity has become a target in the modern era. Being famous today doesn't just mean dealing with paparazzi and gossip. It means navigating lawsuits, public opinion trials, viral misinformation, and now AI-assisted deception. With AI advancement, it's becoming easier to fabricate narratives, manipulate images, audio, and context, and amplify claims in ways that can permanently damage someone's reputation before facts are ever sorted out. For high-profile figures, that creates a dangerous environment where truth and perception aren't always aligned, and being a big name can make you look like a walking payday. And yet, this isn't a story about erasing Will Smith's legacy. Because despite everything, his body of work still matters. From Fresh Prince to Pursuit of Happiness, Ali, Independence Day, and beyond, Will Smith shaped an entire generation of entertainment. Those contributions don't disappear because of personal failures or public mistakes. What makes this story powerful is that it's human. It's a reminder that success doesn't equal wisdom. Fame doesn't equal emotional safety. And public approval is far more fragile than people realize. Will Smith's fall from grace isn't just about scandal. It's about how quickly admiration can turn into scrutiny and how personal decisions, when made publicly, can spiral in ways that are hard to control. The hope in all of this is that his life story can serve as a cautionary tale, not just for celebrities, but for anyone chasing success. Protect your boundaries. Choose discretion over validation. And understand that once your image is public, it no longer belongs entirely to you. Redemption is still possible. But it usually begins in silence, accountability, and time, not headlines. Stories like this always leave more questions than answers. On one hand, fame brings influence, money, and opportunity. On the other, it brings scrutiny, vulnerability, and people who may see a name as a payday rather than a person. In Will Smith's case, we're watching a public figure navigate the consequences of fame in real time, where past choices, public perception, and new allegations all collide at once. The bigger question is this: are we seeing how quickly a fallen icon becomes an easy target in today's media climate? Let me know what you think. Do you believe public figures are treated fairly once their image cracks? Or does the system turn on them? Drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this, and we'll see you in the next one.